I just watched a reel about how the government of Alberta funds private schools up to 70% of the per student rate that public schools get. And that's not including the private school tuition fees that parents pay out of pocket, which in Alberta ranges from $12,000 to $35,000 per student. And it got me to thinking, do other provinces do this also? So I did some homework for you. And I was shocked to learn that it's more common than I'd imagined. So what does that funding look like in other provinces? Well, the next highest province is Quebec, at 60% of the per student rate for public schools being provided to private schools. Next is British Columbia, which provides approximately 50% for some schools and 35% for others. Saskatchewan has a big range of 50 to 80%. Manitoba, under qualifying conditions, provides approximately 50%. Now, Ontario, New Brunswick, PEI, Newfoundland and Labrador provide nothing to private schools. So what does this look like in terms of dollars and cents? Well, it means in Alberta, private schools received grants from Education Alberta amounting to approximately $5,213 per student back in the 2020-2021 school year. That was collectively about $43 million of your tax money. Meanwhile, public schools struggle to afford the basics. Anyway, in BC, it was $8,685 per student. I couldn't find any reliable statistics in terms of actual dollar amounts per student for Quebec, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. And that's because the funding percentages above are ranges and dependent on certain factors. Because some provinces' funding, for example, is conditional or only for certain categories of independent schools, i.e. meeting curriculum, teacher certification, limits on per student cost, etc. So what does that really mean? Great question. In my mind, what it means is, as usual, the wealthiest in our society get yet another leg up. This represents another example of the privilege wealth provides, and how students whose parents can afford to send them to private schools get an unfair advantage, using your tax dollars to do it. Private schools in Alberta, as mentioned, can receive between $12,000 and $35,000 per student in tuition from the parents, and another $5,200 per student from the government, for an average of about $25,000 per student. Meanwhile, public schools only received $7,500 per student. Who do you think is getting the higher quality education? But better yet, is it cool with you that private schools receive public tax dollars? I mean, from the numbers above, it seems Alberta already provides the lowest amount per student of any other province in Canada for education, and they've actually cut funding by 10% in the decade from 2012 to 2021. So it seems that wealthy families are getting more choices subsidized by your tax dollars. Public money is literally making inequality worse. Do you agree? And is this yet another example of the privatization of public services to make basic things like education unattainable for all but the rich? Let's get a conversation going in the comments section. Peace out. And if you're not already following me, you should. It's going to be a ride.